Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for you got it, Virgo. Well, my birthday is tomorrow, the last day of Virgo. I'm right on the cusp, but I am really have a lot of Virgo traits. So happy birthday to all the Virgos out there. I hope it's going to be an amazing year for you guys. Just wanted to put that out there. It's been a crazy September for me. I've had a lot of things go on, so I'm sorry I haven't been as consistent. I've missed you guys. All right, for those of you that are new to my channel, know that I like to dive deep within the reading, so I look at everything. But we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, to see how they play those karmic themes, how we understand why your person's doing what they're doing, right? A lot of times when we're dealing with a person that has spiritual blockages, they have sabotaging behaviorisms that trigger us. So, with those type of relationships, it's more about learning the spiritual lesson so that you can again raise your vibration, so that you can attract better things into your life. You don't want to be bound to your childhood trauma. A lot of times that's what it is. It's that you have not done the healing that you need to do, so you keep reliving the same types of karmic themes. And those karmic themes are ones that keep you stuck in a place of disempowerment, makes you feel separate from your creator, right? Makes you separate from really owning your spiritual sovereignty. And that's what gives you your paranormal energy, right? It makes you superhuman. Now, before we jump in, let's give a shout out to my favorite bracelet company in the world, Otter Spirit. Otter Spirit. What you see here is pretty much like three different combinations. I have something for the heart chakra, something for the third eye chakra, and something to ground. I'm in the midst of manifesting, and when you again wear crystal jewelry, it reminds you to incorporate that medicine that the crystal has. So we know that things like amethyst, well, that helps you with your crown chakra. Some people say it helps with the third eye, but it's really a crown chakra stone. And then we see a black and white dragon agate, and that's for grounding, right? So again, the different crystals. I love this brand because if if you buy from them, they take 15%, they put it towards saving the otters. That's a big deal. That's a big deal to me because this world is it's changing, and it's not changing really for the better in a lot of ways. Like animals are getting extinct. Our great grandchildren will never experience some of the animals that we got to experience. Even the rainforest, what they're doing to the rainforest and the environment, and so we want to contribute to the healing, not just to ourselves, but to mass consciousness. And we can do that when we, become conscious, intentionally conscious. We forget. We get caught up in the day to day. We get caught up in this fear. Fear of what? Well, fear of what might happen, what did happen, what could happen, right? I mean, that's what happens when we have shadows. Our core beliefs are not in alignment with our true self, our higher self. And the higher self is that God part of self, which is all about unconditional love. It makes you, again, superhuman. So when you say, I can't have love, well, that's impossible because you are love. But, the separation from that unconditional love is the illusion. And we all live in environments that tell us, who we are or try to tell us who we are. So if you don't really know who you are, you're going to be in trouble. So we also don't want to repeat the same karmic cycles. When we were children, we didn't have control over our life. Now we actually have control over life. We don't realize that our habits and our behaviorisms a lot of times are more in alignment with those survival mechanisms, which is why we keep attracting the same types of life experiences. All right, let's see what the underlying energy is. So again, I do look at everything, but we're going to take more time to look at those spiritual issues because these are shadow readings. The underlining energy is spirit descending. I love that. Let's see. And disrespect. Well, I feel like you are in separation from someone that actually pushed you into becoming a better version of yourself. And you don't even realize it. And it's mainly because this person didn't see your worth when they were dealing with you. And so the underlying energy is you. Because when the spirit descends, it means it's the higher self, that God part of self that now is grounding ideas. It's taking the spiritual elements and channeling them into like manifesting. So becoming yourself. So I feel like you're in separation from someone that now you're triggering their fear because they know that you don't trust them anymore. You became like all of a sudden like you don't want any part of this person feels that energy shift, and they do because hey, you're like disgusted with them again, and that's what came out because they disrespected you, because you're like enough is enough. It's like this person was waiting for you to come back, and what's happened is that their anxiety is acting up because intuitively they were trying not to tap into you, but they can feel the energy shift. And so what they see is you're like you're disgusted with them because this person tried to get you to, they wanted you to be mad. They wanted you to be hostile. They wanted you to react. But see, you reacted in a way that they didn't expect. So, it kept the relationship in a place of disequilibrium for too long. And that's just like it stayed in balance for too long to the point that you were like, fuck you. I don't want this. I don't want this. So again, that hostile energy that they wanted you to see, they thought that you would react. You did, but in a way that you're like, ew, I can't. I see you completely different. Like you're gonna hold back and play games to be right, like you're some superior person. Like this person wears a mask, is what you're feeling. Well, and that just literally came out. This, you got tired of them wearing a mask. They pretend to be like nice, and they pretend that they want a relationship when they're talking to you. But then most of the time they're not talking to you. Most of the time they're ghosting and they're hooking up with other people. They're pretending to be like the owner of a company. They don't really own the company anymore. They might pretend that the car that they're driving is their car, but they're like leasing it. It's like this person is paying so much attention to creating the illusion to make everybody think this person has their life together, like they don't care. But really, there's nothing, there's no identity. Because when a person is spending all their time in creating illusions and wearing masks, well, they're not taking the time to actually pour it into self in a productive way that's going to manifest in anything. So this person again wanted you to argue. It's again, this person, when they feel angry and irritated, they start an argument. If they're not soothed, then that's what they wanted. They wanted, like you held back for so long, they got impatient. They thought, well, you're going to get mad, you're going to get hostile, you're going to come and you're going to, fight for this relationship. That's not, again, what happened. What happened is now you see them and you're disgusted. So it's like when meanwhile, it's again, they didn't give you the energy. They didn't give you the energy, and we see it twice. It's like, and that's what I said before. They just wouldn't give you the time. It's like they kept telling you so that, oh, you mean so much to them, or they would insinuate that they care. It was a lot of illusions, mainly to keep you stuck, is what you feel like. You're like, I don't understand what that was because they were doing whatever the hell they wanted to do when they wanted to do it. I want to look for odds. We're going to first look and see again what they like to do why they didn't give you the time. But I feel like there were other people involved. So we see again, because it's this person doesn't even feel comfortable in themselves. So you feel like they don't bring anything. Well, they don't bring anything because in their spare time, what do? They run around and they talk to other people and create illusions that they're someone that they're not. Like I said, that takes a lot of time. So it's almost like a lot of anxiety because it's almost like, well, this person wouldn't even really know what to do. They feel inadequate. So them being in this childish energy is almost like they think that they're acting macho when really it's they feel inadequate. And it's because, like I said, if you're so busy running around, wasting time on making people perceive that you're something that you're not, that takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of lying that you would never be able to get close. So this person has inner child wounds, and those inner child wounds are like create a lot of just addictive behavior, everything from eating disorders to like conforming. And those that conforming is codependency, whatever is in the environment, because they feel like again that they're not enough, that they're not good enough. So really you intimidate them. And so they're afraid that if you really got to know them for who they are, that you would reject them. So they would rather keep the relationship in a place of imbalance where you don't really know who they are. That it makes them feel as they have the upper hand because you're not rejecting them. If anything, they think, well, you think that I rejected you. So it's again, and it's because this person has a lot of just fear due to trust issues that happened long time ago, long before you ever met them. So they have very impulsive energy, but they're also jealous. So the impulsiveness comes from the fact that they feel inadequate and they have this addictive behavior, this codependent behavior. The thing is, this person actually sees you for who you are now, and now you're intimidating. Where before they thought that, they were acting a little bit like they were more superior than you at one time. And so this person's only used to like karmic contracts and they need to change a lot of their habits. They're used to being the authority in relationships, but they're extremely lazy. So they expect everybody to do for them, so which means that, you're be in a place of disempowerment. Like you wouldn't be able to be your true self, come from your higher self. You'd have to abandon yourself to be in a relationship like this. And if you didn't, then what this person would manipulate you because that's who they are. They don't do the healing that they need to do. But do they have feelings for you? I mean, listen, we see these are shadows. So when people have shadows, it doesn't mean that they don't have feelings, wants, or desires. But what it means is that they can be too sick to be in a relationship, spiritually sick. Spiritually sick will make you emotionally sick and psychologically sick because they're going to do what they want to do. And so, they pulled away because they are overwhelmed with all the things that are going on in their life. I feel like this person continues to live bad karmic cycles because they don't have an identity. They conform to the environment, but the environment doesn't all the time want what's best for us. And because this person continues to stay in whatever the situation is that's bad within their life, well, their life is never going to get better. And so they really wouldn't be able to let you come in that close. But this person doesn't have, control. Friends and family disapprove of this connection. So maybe they're not allowed to be in a relationship with you. Maybe you have a different religion, or they just know that you wouldn't like vibe with them, or maybe they're still connected to somebody else, and really it doesn't matter. Or if they have a business and they need to leave to actually be in a relationship because they're connected to someone else, well, then which is really what I'm feeling, then this person is like, I can't. They disapprove. So they're conforming again to the environment. They're codependent. So they couldn't let you get up close. They couldn't let you really see who they are. They don't know what they want because the people that are in their environment are telling them all the time who they should be, what they should do, and the whole time they're portraying you, even though they're not 100% happy with what their environment, but it's like they're not strong enough on their own. And that's why they wear masks and they create the illusions to make people perceive that they're someone that they're not. They feel inadequate around you because you make them like stand true. You're like, either you're going to be true or you can not come into my life. And this person can't be true. They have to, again, create the illusion. So we have to say, again, like, why did you attract this person into your life? And what are you supposed to do with the energy? We're going to pull six. First card out is protection. Second card out is trauma. Third card out is um, unworthy. Fourth card out is time and attention. Well, we can see why you attracted this person, confusion. And again, nurturance. So what we see here obviously is you had trauma, and the trauma was psychological and it was emotional. You didn't feel safe with your main caregiver. They made you feel unworthy. They made you feel not good enough. So you didn't really know, how to nurture yourself because you never got nurtured. And so it was very confusing. Hey, a parent that's supposed to love and nurture you made you feel not safe, made you feel unworthy, made you feel not good enough, to the point that they didn't give you time and attention. So this person actually kind of mirrored that energy and awoken that trauma that was inside of you to help you integrate the spiritual lesson. And the integration that spirit wants you to do is not just like we heal that main cause, but more specifically, it would be by facing your fears, don't run away from them. And that could be, hey, I'm afraid to be on my own. I'm afraid to financially become independent. I'm afraid to whatever the theme is that you feel like I'm afraid I'm not going to meet somebody that I have that connection with. It's again, that's not true. Take the time, the sacred space to tap into your higher self. You're listening more to your ego. You're listening more to your fears. And so that's what's bad about that connection, because that person would have bound you to your fears, because that's the energy that they're in. They couldn't bring anything to you. So it's more or less about learning how to listen to yourself. The higher self is that God part of self. So we have to take time out every day to meditate. Otherwise, we grow away from ourselves. And again, then we can become prey to our environment like that person is. Like they're conforming to their environment because friends and family don't agree with it. What are you, not your own person? Yeah, they're not. It's again, and where spirit is now for you, have courage to act from a place of love instead of fear. Let your heart guide you. Not through relationships, but through your passions, through your hobbies, through your interests, through things that are going to open up your heart. Because you gain deep wisdom and realizing that you can attract love until you become it yourself, until you get it yourself, is what Spirit says. So go into the unknown, because that's where, real healing and growth occurs, because you get to see a different version of yourself. You get to see who you are today. You're not going to attract people of the past. You're changing yourself. Now, my cards are in the other room that I normally end off with, so we are going to end off a little bit differently today to just see what spirit may want you to focus on. And that is balance. Spirit says, you know, only in the now do you get divine guidance through gut intuition, inner knowing, learning to trust yourself, going into the unknown, taking that time out to make a sacred time and space just for you and spirit. Release control And you can do that when your life is balanced, because when your life is balanced, it means you have time for work, you have time for friends, you have time for your hobbies, you have time for your interests, you have time for, you know, your spiritual health, your physical health. You make your life look like a pizza pie. This way, when a person comes into your life, you never give them too much. They only get a slice of pie. And this way, emotionally, you'll be satisfied from all the things that you do. Because when you do things, you're interacting with people. And that's where friends come in, when you meet people. And that's making sure that emotionally you're you're fulfilled within your life, that you're strong within yourself before you get into a relationship. Spirit saying, this is what needs to happen. It's like that. Otherwise, you'll continue like to lose your power, but you stay powerful. And you get out of relationships the moment that a person has a problem communicating. This person never wanted to communicate. And a person that doesn't want to communicate is someone that wants things their way. And that's what you felt. So, Spirit saying, release control, go into the unknown, have a love affair with yourself. Then you become the energy of love. And then you're going to attract abundance and the energies that you're supposed to, instead of the energies that are more in alignment with the trauma of the past. I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.